Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. And today it is an honor and privilege to have Mr. Philip Hatfield, the guitarist and vocalist, and Eve Marcum, the vocalist of Scarlet Revolt, and they're from Charleston, West Virginia area. And this is pretty damn cool. They got a new single that's out called Bleed, and this is what I think is really, really awesome. It's inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. So anytime you can do something like that and make it into a song is pretty badass in my book. So, guys, how's it going?
It's going all right.
All right.
Glad to have you all on the show.
Great to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you all on here. Let's jump right into this. I know I'm going to be a little all over the board with this because you've got a new album that's getting ready to come out, plus you got your EP that's out. So, I'm going to be all over the place with this, but that's okay. But what's impressed you the most about making the EP Awakening? What's caught your eye about it, if any, for the both of you?
I think that it is a lovely example of how our music is changing. And I think that it is an excellent lead up to the new album, Cold Town, which will be released in May.
Yeah, I totally agree. The title of the EP, it's a 4-song EP. It's available on Factory Fast Records in New York. You can look that up online. There's a search link to buy a copy if you hear something and like it. But the title is Awakening, and it really reflects a major change not only in our sonic and the overall sound quality and the mix and the way we produce our music, but it also reflects a major change in the approach. You know, the writing and the content. We've revised some songs and re-recorded them here that we did on an independent album a few years ago, and it's night and day. I mean, it's a real earmark, if you will, or a watermark rather, of our new direction. We're going into a much darker and heavier place with our music.
The EP was produced by Factory Fast Records out of New York, like you said. I was working with those folks. Pretty easy, pretty smooth.
They're awesome.
Yeah, Factory Fast, they're great. Yeah, they're a really supportive group of, for a record label. We signed with them last year, and they, Brian, the guy, the head guy there, he's really into indie music. This guy scours the internet looking for bands constantly, and he's really good with developing artists. He takes things and he gets your vision. He's one of these people who's like empathic. He's able to, or an empath rather, he's able to see what you're trying to do and to feel that, and then he works with you to develop your vision. Whereas a lot of labels, they just try to, speaking from past experience, they try to sort of force you into a formula, to fit their marketing strategy. And there's wisdom to that in a degree, but the reason that we were so drawn to working with Factory Fast folks is because they really do put the emphasis on the art, and that's, at the end of the day, that's why we do this to begin with.
That's right, man. That's right. They've just been wonderful to work with. They really put a lot of effort into promoting their bands. They really do. We saw a lot of new people like our Facebook page and contact us, even other bands wanting to do shows with us, specifically because of the hard work of Factory Fast.
Any songs off the EP Awakening that stand out more to the both of you than any possibly?
Definitely Broken Lullaby.
It has seen a lot of radio play, and it also speaks to a lot of things that many people have been through.
Yeah, Broken Lullaby is a song pretty much about losing everything you have, and then rebuilding, and that's something that is very personal to me, and so that song has a lot of intensity for me.
Okay, so we got the new album that's going to come out in May, Cold Town. Is this something that you guys are doing on your own as far as producing, or who's actually producing this? Let's talk about this a little bit, guys.
Vaughn Artists.
The new album, it's being recorded and produced at the Recording Workshop in Chillicothe, Ohio, by Brian Brody. He's worked with several major artists, including recently he's done some work with Beyonce. But he's a phenomenal engineer and a great guy to work with, very supportive, very technical. Vaughn Artists, we signed a distribution agreement with them. They're from Portland, Oregon, and their management and distribution for us. And basically, they're going to have us out on the Orchard and on Vaughn app in the record stores here in May. Cold Town should be finished and available commercially by the middle to end of May. And this album again, it's a landmark for us because it just catalogs this whole new direction we're going. And I think the best way to describe the sonic from what we're hearing, it's a pretty aggressive blend of classic rock roots with a very strong modern vibe, if that makes sense.
Just to reiterate, Brian Brody is an amazing producer and mixer. He also is just an awesome person, generally, like all the way around. He's great to work with. And I can say the same thing for Vaughn artists. They have been very supportive and very encouraging. And I feel good things are coming with this new album. Not only am I thrilled with the quality of what we've been able to put together and the sound that we're being able to make, but just the direction we're going in. I'm in awe of where we are compared to where we've been.
I know you guys said this is a darker album for you guys, and you like this way that it's going, but as far as the EP plus this one, are there any songs off these, like the EP and previous before that one? Any songs going to be on this one, or is this totally all new stuff?
Slow Fade. On the Cold Town, there's a song, Slow Fade, that had been released before, but we have evolved that song, and it is the last song in the album, and I think that it really helps to create a perfect end to the flow of the music for that album.
Totally agree. The original version of Slow Fade was released on our second CD called Savannah Moon, which was released on Factory Fast last year, but it was a whole different sonic. It was very much more of what I would call like a punk pop, power pop, rock type thing. And, we switched genres entirely pretty much with this thing. And Slow Fade, the redux of Slow Fade is much darker. It's much more aggressive now, which is really what I had in mind to begin with.
For the both of you, how much growth musically have you seen this band go through since the formation of this band?
Yeah. Man, that's a good question. The Earth rotates on an axis, and we have night and then there's day,
right? Based
on the position and the location against the sun. There's days where I kind of still want to think the Earth is flat, but I know better. Anyway, the growth cycle that this band started in a garage back in the 80s, and we played some, the bass player and I, and we've worked together for over 30 years, different projects, and we've just evolved into this process. We started this up in 2012, and we've been recording and working on different versions of the music, almost like you go through trial and error learning. We've been through a lot as a band, personnel changes, and just the usual trials and struggles of musician life, touring life, and so forth. But we feel like we've finally hit a pinnacle here in that the art's coming together, the writing is solid, we're happy with the way we sound now, we're happy with ourselves in terms of the way the band relates, and we spend a lot of time on the road together. You have to be able to function, at a reasonably healthy level together to make that work. I've always joked and said that bands are sort of dysfunctional little families, and we're no different. But we really do try. We really do try. Look at the fun in dysfunction. We try to keep the dysfunctional, toxic stuff to a minimum. All of us are pretty mature people, and we're very careful about what we allow into our inner circle, so that we don't have those toxic dynamics that'll destroy a lot of groups. That have destroyed a lot of them. I feel like this album really reflects that. I mean, this has been a huge collaboration. I like the words and music, yes, but that doesn't say it all. What really goes on is I bring these songs into these guys, and they're amazing people to work with because they have this ability. Eve and X and CJ, Phil Clace's X, that's his nickname, but they have this ability to just like capture the vision that I'm bringing in, and to craft it into this product that just I think it really expresses what I had in mind, to begin with. And I haven't had that in earlier versions of this band. So that's something I think is a very, very loud and strong point, speaking to the quality of musicians I'm working with now. And I'm really, really blessed to have them, I think.
I've been with the band for a little over 2 years now, and I can't even express to you how wonderful it's been to be able to help create and develop. And I've noticed that the challenges that have been given to me have helped me to grow vocally and to explore new things. And it's just been wonderful. I'm really, I can't even express how excited I am for this new album to come out and for everybody to listen to Bleed as our first single released from that album.
How much local support does the Scarlet Revolt get from the fans that you have over there in West Virginia, things like that, and plus radio and venues? How much support do you guys get?
A lot. WTSQ is a local radio station there in Charleston, and they have just been wonderful.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Josh Gaffin at WTSQ has been a real anchor for us, helping promote us locally, and we're really grateful for what they've done. Yeah, we're grateful for all radio. I mean, it's awesome to be on today, but here in our local region, that's a huge thing to have that station support.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure, for sure.
Oh yeah, the local venues have just been wonderful. Empty Glass and Blue Parrot and the Boulevard Tavern there in Charleston. They've all just been great to work with, and they've done a really good job. Everybody that has been there to help mix the sound while we've been at our shows. They've just been wonderful. It's so cool to be part of a community with a growing and thriving live music scene. Now, everybody supports everybody else.
This is for the both of you guys. What helps you keep your mind fresh and open to new lyrics, guitar riffs, stuff like that? Is there anything that you do to help you keep your minds open to this?
That's a good question. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, actually, one of my major inspirations for writing is, it's a life experience. I write about things I've lived through for the most part, or someone that I've seen and am close to go through something. So I tend to write about those things. But, when I'm actually reflecting, trying to craft a song, I spend a lot of time walking alone in the woods. At wintertime especially is a dark time for me based on some historic things, but it's inspirational. I take those things and I use them in my writing as a creative process. It's a healing process in a lot of ways. I think that's what we all know about music. It's a universal language. But I do spend a lot of time out in the woods walking around just working on songs.
Yeah, you got to have that time alone to develop your thoughts and to put it all together. But I found that working with the whole band, we've developed this organic process that when we all just get together and we work on something, we're really able to develop it all at once. We get this synergy, and it's so cool to hear a song come together. It's amazing.
What can fans expect at a show from Scarlet Revolt? What can they get when they come out to see you guys live?
They're going to get a show. They're so going to get a show. Full of energy and attitude, and definitely we try to make sure that our live performances, are tight. We try to get everything on time. We spend a lot of time working together as a band to rehearse and practice and get things pretty tight, because we feel when we're doing a show, we want to give you a song. We want to perform that song even better than the recording. If you have a copy of the album, when you come see it live, you're going to hear it better than you did in your car.
I don't disagree. I think the way I would say that is there's two things. When you come to see us live, it's very honest, first of all. It's very raw. For example, with my own guitar work, I don't use any foot pedals or digital processing. I'm raw. I run our Gibson Les Paul straight through an orange amplification system. It's old school, heavy rock and roll, and I play that way. The second thing I would say is that a lot of people who have heard us, including Hold the Note magazine over in Athens, did a review on us here a while back and said that we're like a sonic kick to the crotch. It's definitely a throat punch kind of set. We're aggressive.
So do you guys like, I know this is a double-edged sword, but do you guys like the digital era that we're in right now of making albums, getting music out, and plus social media? Do you guys like this?
Well, it is a blessing and a bane. I am the band nerd. just to put that out there, I am. And I'm a one-trick pony musically. I sing, but I also put together our website and a bunch of other things, help make our graphics, yada, yada, yada. So maintaining all that stuff takes a lot of time.
It does.
Back in the 90s, it was, make sure you get a domain name and an email.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you gotta have Reverb, you gotta have SoundCloud, you gotta have Facebook, you gotta have Instagram, you gotta have Twitter. The list goes on, as well as a web presence and all the other ways that you want to promote yourself, Bandcamp, and it's a lot of work, but it is very effective if you do it right and you work on it religiously. It's very effective, and once you learn how to do it, it can be a real benefit.
Well, look at me. I mean, I've got BODS Mayhem Hour. Plus, like you said, you got to have Twitter. You got to have Facebook. And plus my website, plus my Mixcloud site. I mean, damn. I just now hit over 1,000 likes, and I've been doing this for 6 years. And I've got to say, I did it the honest way. I didn't pay for no likes. So, I did it.
Can I comment on that?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Our Facebook page, for example, you were talking about the organic following, the connection. Everyone on that Facebook page, with the exception of a very small percentage, are people that I or one of the band members have actually had a real-time conversation with. Yeah. We don't get out and randomly solicit likes just to build. We don't pay people to build up likes on our page.
There you go.
And that has probably had some adverse impact in terms of, I'm just now getting my first artist endorsement this year for Killer Bee Guitarist.
Cool.
But a lot of these companies want you to have 20,000 followers, and I know bands that go out and pay companies to basically form fake accounts and put likes on their page. I'm not going to do that.
Yep, me either.
I want, yeah.
If it takes me, like I said, I've been doing this six years now, and I've just reached over 1,000 likes today. I'm actually 1,003 likes. So if it takes me 10 more years to get 4,000 likes, then so fucking be it. I'm doing it the right way.
Yeah, totally agree, man. Right on, because it's about the people connection. The digital age can mask the humanity.
Yes, sir.
And there's all sorts of tricks you can do to get around that. It's a lot of artists and people do it. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying, if you will, that's a phenomenon that's going on. We don't like to do that. We want people.
Yeah. I don't want a bot to say, "Oh, I like your thing," and then they'll never hear from them again. Yeah, that
exactly.
Yeah.
For the both of you,
the real person.
Yeah, exactly. For the both of you, what does Scarlet Revolt bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now?
Let's see. It's definitely a strong female lead vocal, hardcore kind of sound, and there aren't a lot of us. It's been growing, and it's been a thrill to see more and more female lead bands out there making heavy rock, but there aren't a lot of us, and that's one way that we bring something a little more unique to the table.
That's totally true, and I would add to that the overall sonic is important too, because not only do we have the female lead, and her vocal work's phenomenal, right. I think, and there's a gap. Like right now in the music scene, there's a lot of really good heavy bands out there, and I love some of these bands. In fact, I buy their music and I support them. I go to their shows. But there's a lot of sort of a trend in every area and genre of music. And I think one thing we do pretty well is we're sort of trend buckers. I mean, you will very much hear classic rock roots in our music. It's in there. I mean, I was influenced growing up by the Stones, Hendrix, Beatles, all the usuals. But I was also influenced by the 70s heavy metal, Black Sabbath. I listened to Rush. I mean, there's a lot of things like that you're going to hear in there. but we listen to more recent modern work too, and I know you're going to hear those influences because they're deliberate. I mean, there's so much good stuff out there now, and we try to fuse them together. In other words, we want to give our roots a good solid nod and acknowledgement, but we don't want to be redundant and still sound like it's 1973 either, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes total sense.
And I think, but I just, I think that's the most important part as far as the sonic goes, is that we really try to keep a modern edge, and several reviewers have said that about us. And so, that's just kind of an honor point for me. It makes me feel really good to hear that from reviewers, because that's exactly our mission. That's the sonic we want to create. So I'll hush now.
No, you're fine. I was just saying, I totally agree with you on that, because, I think that the sludgier rock kind of stuff is coming back a lot more here lately.
I think it's true. I think, especially, and I hate to bring out demographic factors, but, we follow the statistical trends pretty closely, trying to see what's going on. I have have access to a lot of industry level data, and, frankly, younger people are buying vinyl albums and cassette tapes again for a reason. They're looking for that organic sound, that experience that you get with a full album, or, they're looking more for that real kind of connection with the music. And in my opinion, that's best done through analog recording process. Digital mixing and all that's great. We do mix in digital, but we record our stuff live. And, I mean, there's just a difference in the way it feels and the way it projects. And frankly, the sales data are saying last year, record sales have boosted up more than they have in the last decade.
Yeah,
so that tells me, that tells us a lot. People are looking for something. The industry's going through another paradigm shift.
I want to take up for Eve and all the lady vocalists out there, any lady musician, period. I had a conversation with a friend not long ago who said, I cannot get into a female-fronted band. And I was taken back by it. I was like, are you kidding me? Really? You're that close-minded of music, dude? And,
yeah.
I mean, you mean to tell me that a lady can't rock out just as hard, or her band can't rock out just as hard as, say, Metallica, or, some big band like that, possibly? I mean, you mean to tell me that they can't do that? You gotta be fucking kidding me. You must be sleeping under a rock. Stuff like that pisses me off, man.
Yeah. All that they need to be sat down in front of some Hailstorm and some Pretty Reckless,
and some Lita Ford, and yeah. Let Lita hear him say that. She'll kick his ass.
Oh man, she will, man. I saw her in a show, and she is fit.
Yep.
She's still bringing it.
I'm not a huge fan of Hailstorm, but I mean, I respect what they do. Lindsay, I think that's her name. She can. Or Lizzie.
Oh yeah, Lizzie, man.
She can sing. I mean, nothing but respect for that lady.
Oh my God, that song "Freak Like Me," where she can like scream up the scale. Yeah. Oh, when I grow up, I want to be Lizzie Hale.
Is there any show or moment that stands out more to you both than any possibly that's been part of Scarlet Revolt? Saying, I can't believe we're doing this right now.
Oh man. Well, we got to play at the 40 Watt. That was pretty cool. But more recently, we had a show at the Boulevard Tavern, and I was recovering from a bronchitis. And I had some major froggy going on. But we all just pulled it. I think all of us were sick that day. It was hilarious. Poor CJ, man. He was rolling on like sugar and caffeine just to be able to make it, But that was like it was almost like a debut. In fact, I think it was of all of the entirety of our new album's music. Mm-hmm. And when we played that, we had such a great response that I felt better. It was like healing to hear that and to know that we are moving in a direction that not only do we like, but other people like too. And it was just, I was in awe.
What about you, Phil?
Yeah, it was, I would agree with the Boulevard. Playing the 40 Watt Club down in Athens last year, that's like a 1,000-seat venue. That's the club where REM started, the B-52s and all back in the day. A lot of big Athens bands came out of there. And so it was really awing to headline that show. And we did pretty well down there. We get a lot of airplay in Athens and have a lot of friends there, some great local bands, you know. So that's kind of an earmark. I mean, people like Kurt Cobain sat in that same dressing room and signed the log. So there's things like that.
Wow.
And we got to be part of that. But locally, you know, the Boulevard, that's home turf. And so when, you know, we came in there we announced it, that we were going to play our whole new album there. That's kind of a debut spot. And we were kind of scared. And like you said, we were all physically ill. I have to comment, poor CJ, you'd have to see this dude. I mean, he's an amazing drummer, but like he was literally just dragging ill that night. And he pulled off one of the best performances I've ever seen him do. And, you know, the crowd, it was a packed house. And I mean, we were really scared how they were going to receive this change. And, I mean, we had dudes from heavy metal bands in there, you know, putting horns up and rocking with us and, you know, and digging what we were doing. And so that made me feel like we had finally found our way home, if that made sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys get this, but what's it mean to you both when you receive an email from a fan, or prior to your shows or after the shows, they'll come up and they'll tell you, say, hey, look, you know, your music has helped me through a tough time. It's gave me inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's just made me to relax with everyday bullshit that we go through, and we all go through it. What's it mean to you all?
Oh, man. Phil, you definitely have to take this one.
For me, it means the world. You know, I've been playing for over 30 years and recording, and, you know, I've had a lot of background. I'm not a rookie, so to speak, but you know, the real reason I keep doing this, it's not the money. And I really, at this point in life, you know, getting famous would be great, blah, blah. We're pretty well known in some areas, but that's not the point. The people really matter to me. And, you know, and if I can reach somebody with one of these songs, that's why I create music. And somebody comes up to me and they're like, dude, hey, I want to tell you what Bleed, you know, what happened or whatever. I'm going to take 20 minutes and talk to you. I'm going to listen to it, because that's why I do this. That validates me as a writer and as a performer, you know, to know that somebody can connect with that, because that's, I mean, life experience is all we have, all of us. It's universal. And if we can share that and encourage each other, hey man, that's something positive instead of the usual, the usual slime that we get stuck in out there in humanity, especially on the internet now. But you know, if we get a positive comment, I mean, I don't take that stuff lightly. It's somebody took time to express that to me. I'm going to respect that. I'm going to honor that.
Music is therapy. It's a drug. I mean, it's the best drug that there ever could be, in my opinion.
Yeah, amen.
I kind of came into this a little later in life than some. You know, Phil's been doing it his whole life. It took me a while to get over my insecurities and self-doubt to really be able to sing in front of people. And this whole new phase to my life, it has opened my confidence and opened my mind to what a person can really achieve in their life. So when somebody comes up to me and they tell me that they were blown away, you know, it's sometimes it's still hard for me to accept that that's actually happening, because this is, I know it's been going on for about 4 years now, but or 4 or 5 years now, but it still feels new sometimes. And it's amazing to me that they had that reaction, and it fills me with joy. It fills me with deep, deep joy.
Especially being a local band, to reach out to people like that, and to have your music to touch them like that speaks volumes in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the old saying, a prophet has no honor in their hometown, or something like that. You know, and it's like, we have a lot of support here. I mean, the people here are great. There's a thriving music scene here. But when somebody that's homeboy, local, homegrown comes up, and you know they're connecting with your music, that's powerful. I mean, I don't mean to say it's not any less powerful when we're on the road somewhere, but, you know, people that you know, when they connect with it, man, that just lights you up. That's cool.
I just like to say, as a fan of your guys' music, thank you all for what you do. If you need any help, if you need any help, you know, send me some tracks. I'll play it on the show. I don't mind a bit at all to do it. How can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, find out your tour dates? How can they do that?
The nerd's going to speak up. We have a website. ScarletRevolt.com. You can also hit our Facebook, facebook.com/Scarlet Revolt. You can find us.
Before I let you guys go, will you care to do a promo for the show, one of you guys or both of y'all? It don't matter.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
This is Eve with Scarlet Revolt, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey everyone, this is Phil from Scarlet Revolt, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.